Hello and welcome to today's Hindu newspaper analysis. Okay, of the Delhi edition from the editorial section. A Ukraine peace plan that needs a U-turn. The elements of viable peace exist, and all that is required is for someone to step forward and pursue it. Okay, pursue it with urgency. What is the exact gist of this article? One of the questions long time watchers of the United Nations like myself kept asking as the Ukrainian crisis unfolded was what the UN Secretary General, the able former Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Guterres, was doing. When the Americans were crying themselves hoarse about an imminent invasion over weeks before it actually happened, did the Secretary General seek to use his good offices to resolve the crisis? Okay, resolve the crisis. And to resolve the crisis. And did he send an embassy to Moscow to find out its intentions and understand its irreducible demands? Then have the same person try in queue to get Ukraine to agree to the terms of the compromise. Hardly inspiring. While such efforts do not necessarily have to be public, there was no evidence of any subtle diplomacy conducted by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. Indeed, there seems to have been no high UN official sent in the couple of months preceding the Russian invasion to either capital, nor to the Washington DC, or nor to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization headquarters in Brussels. Unlike the legendary U-turn, who intervened between Moscow and Washington during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, albeit through the telegram rather than travel. Secretary General Guterres seemed to have limited himself to earnest exhortations to Russia to observe the peace, and it hardly violated when he spoke. The implication that when a permanent member is vigilant, the UN is reduced to helplessness. Putin and his objectives, you know already from here. I have long seen of what view that the having undertaken such a high-risk enterprises as launching a military invasion, Russian President Vladimir Putin is likely to stop before his strategic objectives are realized. But what exactly are those objectives? Ending any prospects of NATO troops and weapons on his doorstep is obviously a priority. But to ensure that, does he aim to bring about regime change in Kyiv, replacing the defiant Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky with no pro-Russian deposed former President Viktor Yanukovych? Does he intend to annex some of Ukrainian territories? Is his aim to create a buffer state in Ukraine between Russia and the West? Or could he, as the Chinese did to India in 1962, declare that his enemies had been taught a lesson? From here on, neutrality is most important. Realizing the potential of Maitri and Matsi. What is this? Deepening investments in Australia, India, strategic economic and community ties highlight their stronger relationship. Australia is celebrating India's 75 years of independence by making the largest single investment in our bilateral relationship. We do so because Australia and India share a long and special relationship. One we are now working together to make even stronger. Deep stories, गहरी कहानियां हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया और भारत की, जो हम यहाँ से देखने की कोशिश करेंगे in a good manner. We are natural partners because We are each ancient and modern countries and culture, vibrant and full of energy and optimism. Australia recognizes the depth and diversity of India's magnificent culture. We know the importance of connection to history. Like India, Australia's story stretches back tens of thousands of years. Australia's indigenous peoples are custodians of the oldest continuing civilization in the world, which is why the Australian government was delighted to return 29 culturally significant artifacts to the people of India at this month. Even our words for friendship have a similar ring. India says Maitri, Australians says mateship. Both stands for respect, understanding, understanding and equality. Friends looking out for each other. That is the warm friendship shared between our Prime Minister, the Honorable Sri Narendra Modi, and the Hon Scott Morrison and Honorable Prime Minister, Australia Prime Minister Scott Morrison, MP. On March 21st, the two Prime Ministers held their virtual summit and took up the remarkable peace we are implementing the Australia-India Comprehensive Strategic Partnership to drive closer cooperation and regularly review relations. The Prime Minister also established an annual summit mechanism. Since we elevated our relationship in 2020, we have advanced practical actions on cyber and critical technologies, maritime affairs, defense ties and economic and business links and quadrilateral cooperations. How many countries is in quadrilateral? There are 4. The virtual summit marked another milestone as our Prime Minister announced a range of tangible and practical initiatives spanning the breadth of our shared economic, strategic and regional interests. These initiatives are an investment into the promise and potential of our nations. They address the most pressing challenges and opportunities to our time. Because when it comes to friendship, we know actions speak louder than words. Together we are harnessing the technology, the talent and the trading spirit of our people to deliver resilience, prosperity and security. Together we are focused on the future. Technology and research. We are working on a new and renewable energy partnership to support the development of technologies such as green hydrogen and ultra low cost solar. We are also supporting research and investment to unlock the Australian critical minerals for Indian advanced manufacturing. We will boost collaboration on innovation, science and entrepreneurship to scale up ideas and address global challenges. We are also increasing investment into our country's rapidly growing space sectors. And we are establishing the Australia-India Center of Excellence for Critical and Emerging Technologies Policy and Consulate General in Bengaluru. Our governments know that resilience relies on strong economies. We have made significant inroads and in negotiations on a deal that will open new two-way trade investment opportunities, build more secure supply chains, and unlock our complementary economies, increasing the flow of goods, services, and people. Focus on students. We are investing in India's talented young people through our new future skill initiative between education and training providers and industry. This complements the Australian government's significant new Maitri scholarship and fellowship, giving Indian students and researchers the chance to experience Australia's world-class education system. Australians value highly the Indian diaspora and Indian contributions to our community, whether economic, social or cultural. Prime Minister Morrison announced a dedicated Centre for Australia-India relations to deepen that relationship between our communities. Australia and India are also working to ensure a peaceful and stable region. We are each committed to a free and open Indo-Pacific. We are advancing our cooperation all the way from the Indian Ocean to the Pacific Island. last month be announced initiative to enhance Australian engagement in the Northeast Ocean and support of India's natural leadership. In our defense relationship, we are enhancing information sharing, the operational cooperation. Such arrangements also help us continue developing quality humanitarian support to the region. Seen recently when India helped Australia's Pacific family, Tonga and Kiribati. Finally, Australia was saddened at the tragic loss of Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat last year. Our governments are recognizing his contributions by announcing an Australia-India Young Defence Officer Exchange program named in his honor. These inventions in our strategic, economic and community ties show what we can achieve when two multicultural democracies join in a spirit of trust and understanding. Australians know that in India we have a natural partner who will help build a region where every nation can prosper. I hope India sees a similar friend in Australia. We are closer than ever and our transformational commitments and collaborations will continue to bring us together. We are realizing the potential of our Maitri and mateship. This article written by Barry Overwell is the Australian High Commissioner to India. समझ गए, जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया के हाई कमिश्नर इंडिया में है उन्होंने इसमें लिखा है. These are the two prominent articles from here. Wider unemployment benefits. What is this? Law and schemes have failed to offer relief of workers reeling under many blows. क्या है many blows? Even before COVID-19, the unemployment rate touched a peak in 2017 and 2018 at 6.1%. Data is important from here, always. The urban unemployment rate was 7.8% and the rural unemployment rate was 5.3%. While the unemployment rate are declined to 5.8 in 2018 and 2019 and 4.8 in 2019-2020, urban employment declined marginally to 7.7% and 6.9% respectively. It was stubbornly around 7.8% during 2021 and later. If we consider the current weekly status quarterly unemployment statistics for urban areas, it was 9.4% in January-March 2021 and rose to 12.6% in April-June 2021. As per the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, the average urban employment rate remained higher at 9.04% in 2021 and above 7% in January-February 2022. Meanwhile, the rural unemployment rate rose to 8.35% in February 2020 after the mid fluctuations around 5 to 7% since June 2021, that is 8.75%. Seen by any measures of unemployment or the statistical sources are concerned, at least since the pandemic, that a satisfactory system of unemployment relief exists. Unlike in China, the labor laws do not expressly provide for unemployment benefits. However, under the Employees States Insurance Act, also known as ESIA, 1948, the Rajiv Gandhi Shramik Kalyan Yojana, RGSKY, provides unemployment allowance to involuntarily unemployed insured persons who have made contributions for 2 years to ESI. The cash relief is that of 50% of the last average daily wages for the first 12 months and 25% for the next 12 months. It covers unemployment due to retrenchment, closure of or permanent invalidity. It provides medical care during unemployment tenure and vocational training. In 2018, the government introduced the Atal बीमित व्यक्ति कल्याण योजना, also known as ABKY, under which unemployed insured persons are provided allowances at rate of 50% of the average per day earning of the claimant for 90 days on a pilot basis for the 2 years. This was extended during the COVID-19 pandemic also. Under the Industrial Dispute Act, also known as IDA 1947, industrial establishment employing 100 or more workers must retrenchment compensation of 15 days of average pay for the completed years of service to workers in case they lost job due to government sectioned workers retrenchment or closure of establishment. Where the burden of unemployment allowance is transferred to the employer. Employment intensive industries like construction and services are excluded. Though the Social Security Code, also known as SSC 2020, included unemployment protection in its definition of social security, it did not provide for a scheme for the same. When quizzed by the Parliament Standing Committee on this omission, that government said this type of phenomena. Retail inflation has been hovering around 6% at the wholesale price in India. In index around 12%, the EPFO reduced its interest rate to 8.1% for 2021-2022. Add to this higher level of unemployment, large welfare scheme must offer relief to marginalized workers who are reeling under multiple blows. An urban employment guarantee scheme should be framed to alleviate the suffering of the workers in the urban labor market. Changing the jurisprudence of scarcity. India has become conditioned to the condition and mentality of shortage in education. What is gist of this article? The road to medical education in India is anything but smooth. One is not talking about the actual years of study and residency, but of making it to the portals of a decently equipped and staffed college. The competition is fierce. The National Eligibility cum Entrance Test, also known as NEET eligibility. The test draws 16 lakh candidates for 88,000 MBBS seats. The preparations start here and ahead robbing the aspirants of the joy of livelihood. Coaching factories as the ones in quota proliferate. Tensions mount, deaths by the suicide increase, heartbreaks exceed exclusion, and then there is the overarching shadow of reservation. The untouched major premises in the prospectus, starting with the advent of the construction in 1950 for a 10-year period, reservations have continued uninterrupted at an ever-increasing pace owing to a combustion of unrealized aspirations, increasing awarenesses of historical wrongs, political expectancy and vote banks. As much as we have wanted to move away from a caste-based society, we have become even more wired into one where caste predominantly dictates reservation, and reservation determines accessibility to education and unemployment. कोर्ट के कोटेशन क्या है, उन पे यहाँ पढ़ने की ज्यादा जरूरत नहीं है. टेक्स्ट एंड कॉन्टेक्स्ट अब पहले आने लग गया है, सबको दिमाग में सब लोग डालीजिए. डिमांड इसकी बढ़ी है. श्रीलंका aggravating economic crisis. Why did the island nations reach this point? How has India extended support and assistance to its neighbors? Yes, what is gist of this article? What is the story so far? The Sri Lanka's economic crisis is aggravating rapidly, putting citizens through enormous hardship. Over the weekend, at least 2 senior citizens died while waiting in a long queues to buy fuel. The price of cooking gas spiked to LKR4. Why are prices soaring and why there is a shortage? Not most important from here. Prime Minister Imran Khan on a sticky wicket. Why? Why have the PM allies and his fellow MNSA come out against him. What happens if he does get removed from office? Okay, from office. And what is next article? A solution in search of a problem on 10% reservation. Instead of addressing inequality, the 10% quota for inequally bigger sections creates huge anxieties in India. Okay. So, okay. The EWS bill promises 10% reservation to the individual classified as economically backward. That is those who have an income threshold of rupees 8 lakh per annum. The NAS of 2011-12 shows that the annual per capita expenditure for 99% of the households falls under this threshold even. Okay, then we take inflation into account. The actual implementation of the EWS quota should be challenging as procuring caste certificate could be difficult. One alternative strategy can be to try and spread the benefits of reservation as widely as possible within the existing framework and ensure that individuals use their reserved category status only once in their lifetime. Okay, their lifetime. So this concludes of the today's Hindu newspaper analysis. So thanks for watching.